Hey guys, it's Reed here, and this is a tutorial on how to code Java programs using Xcode and Terminal on a Mac. So the first thing you'll notice is I have a text box up here, which is basically, or a text file that is all the commands I'm going to be using in Terminal. These are Terminal commands, command, colon, description, and then the steps to actually using creating and running and everything about coding using Xcode and Terminal. I'm going to go over these real quick, but the first things first is make sure you have Xcode installed on your computer. It is not installed by default on any Macs. You have to download it from the Mac App Store. It is free. So you just go to the Mac App Store. You'll open it up. You'll search Xcode. Right there, it'll be the first item, Xcode. It will say free for you. You hit free and it will say download, and it's about 5 gigabytes. It's pretty simple. You just download it, install it, or it's actually only 2 gigabytes now. Download it, install it, and you'll be ready to go. So once you install it, the first thing you're going to want to do is you just want to open Xcode. I have it right here. You open it. When you open it, it will be this nice welcome splash. And then you can disable if you don't want to see it again. I don't mind seeing it, so I just leave it up there all the time. The next step you'll take is you'll do Command N for a new file. It's going to pop up this thing here. It'll be a little browser, template chooser. You can select OSX Other, and you're going to select Empty. So then you're going to give it a name. I would call this one, we'll call it samplefile2.java. And make sure you include the .java. If you do not include it, then you will not be able to do the programming. It just will not work for you. It will be a text file, and it will not be the Java file that you were expecting it to be. I'm going to put it on my desktop for now, so I'll hit create. And as you see there, I have a Java file right there. It has a Java extension, samplefile2. And inside the Xcode window, it's going to pop up here. Now you're going to create your code. You're going to write any code you want here. Make sure you do public class samplefile2. And we'll do a public static void main. Oops. Public static void main. And I'll just do system.out.println hello world. Pretty simple. Misspelled hello, but for the most part, simple program, you're going to do it there. So now we've created the code, we've written the code, and now we're going to we've written the code, created the file, and now it's time to open up Terminal and actually run our program. So you're going to open up Terminal. It probably will not be in your dock. You'll probably have to do the Spotlight search for Terminal. You bring it up, and then Terminal will be right here. And it's going to be defaulted to your home folder. Mine is actually defaulting to my desktop, so I'm going to fix that. This is just a thing. Yeah, okay, I'll open a new one. I must have been programming it earlier. So there, it's defaulted to my home directory. So what I'm going to do next is I'm going to do desktop. And how you're going to set up your desktop to set it to default to your desktop is you do the squiggly, which is your home directory, /desktop. And first you're going to make sure you do cd squiggly /desktop. And then it's going to load up your desktop as the directory that is necessary. But pretend like you have your code nested in some other folder. Usually I have my code nested in a developer directory. So what I will do is I usually do cd squiggly developer, and then it will load it in my developer folder. If you really want to be cheating the system and doing it just however you want to do it, and you don't know where your folder is, you don't want to have to type it in, you don't want to have to type in the entire file extension or the navigation path, you can just do cd and drag in the folder. So pretend like this is a folder, and it will just be users/read/desktop, like that. You just drag it right in there, and now it'll write in the file path for you. So that's the tricks to setting your directory. And you do need to set your directory whenever you're going to run or compile Java programs. So that's very important that you get that, and that's the first command I listed up here. Now, if you want to make sure you have the right directory, you want to make sure you have the right files in there, you can type ls, and it will do the default directory. It will reveal everything inside of it, which will be my commands.txt. I have it on my desktop right there, and my 2 sample Java files. So then it's time to compile it. You will do java c samplefile2.java. And it's going to compile it. Hopefully there might be an error, and if it's an error, it will pop up here. Nope, it doesn't look like I have an error. So it also created the class file for you in the desktop or wherever the directory is with the Java file. Then you'll do java samplefile2, and it should run, and it will print out hello world directly to the terminal's window. One thing you'll notice is my terminal will look significantly different than yours. I've customized it. The default terminal will probably be something similar to this. It'll be all nice and white. If you want to customize it, make it translucent like I have done, there's easy options in the terminal preferences window, but for now, that's not what we're talking about. So I'll get rid of that. Next, so if we want to say create a file for the Java program and we don't want to worry about going and doing it through Xcode, you can create your Java files through terminal using the touch command, and you can actually create any files. We'll use samplefile3.java, touch samplefile3.java, which is our file name, and it will, what do you know, it created it right there. If we want to open that in Xcode, open samplefile3.java, type it like that, and what do you know, there it is in Xcode. So we'll do public class, type in our code, samplefile3. Oops, I have some code snippets loaded already, so that will pop up there if I mistype. But we have public static void main. And then we'll say, let's do system.out.println file2. Okay, so now what I'm going to do is I'm going to write this output to a folder. So if I want to do touch output.txt, it's going to create my output.txt file, and then I'm going to do javac samplefile3.java. It's loading up my desktop with a ton of junk, but I'll clean up later. Java samplefile3, and now it's running it, prints out file2 just like we'd expect. But now the really nice thing is you can do Java samplefile3 arrow to output.txt. No outputs on your screen, but let's say we open up output.txt. Open up, what do you know, the output was printed to the sample file. So there it is there. That's a quick trick in case you need to print your code somewhere. You don't want to have to copy and paste it, which copy and pasting really isn't a hassle. You just copy and paste, Command C, put it in your folder wherever you want it to go. There it is, pretty simple. So that's the other trick. It's easy to copy and paste, but if you do want to write some really long page of output to a file, it's an option available for you. Now, if you make a lot of errors and you're debugging it and you don't want to keep typing in the javac samplefile3.java, oops, that's weird, samplefile3.java, you can do the up arrow, and then it will go again, and you can cycle through all of the commands you wrote by just going up and down with the arrow keys. If you have any other questions about how to use Terminal and Xcode to write programs, feel free to send me a message, talk to me in person, and I'll be more than happy to clarify.